bit in the random forest discussion itself. We started touching upon this. However, yeah, good morning all of you. However, we are going to look at today decision tree. It's a probability is the measure. Normally, when we look at logistic regression, all other regression model, it is working on the principle called maximum statistics. When it comes to decision tree as well as random forest, it is purely probability is the measure, probability based calculation. So this is one of the white box model they used to call. For understanding point of view, we can say this is easier for anyone to pick up the theory concept. I mean to say, even the beginner to the machine learning can able to pick up quickly this decision tree. That is another beauty, and it is white box model. The meaning white box model, what is it? What exactly happening inside internally? Once the data is given to the model, what is a way it starts classifying? What is a route? It is purely we can say it works on if then else model, rule based mining we can call, otherwise rule based mining. We all are familiar with if then else, formulating rules and coining lot of rules. We all are aware of that. Similarly, the same fashion, how we do C programming, how we do a simple program on conditional expressions, similar way only it works. So that is the reason most of the time people starts learning as a beginner decision tree first, both theory and practical. They start with the decision tree and they will move on to the other models. That is the added advantage. Now, how that rule is working, that is based on, already in the previous sessions I have mentioned, it is based on two matrices, either Gini index or information gain or entropy. The information gain or entropy is looking at the purity, whereas that Gini index looks at impurity. That we should understand what is purity or impurity little bit. Let us, I'll give just one line. Impurity and purity means which node is too good in splitting criterion. Splitting means finally our all the columns need to be splitted to reach the leaf node. Similarly, all the records need to be attached to the nodes, attached to the leaf nodes. We will have binary classification most of the time. Let us consider to start with binary classification is the best thing. Then we can go for multi-label classification. What is a multi-label classification is, if I am asking you to predict pass or fail for our based on our mark. Educational data mining is one of the other domain, vast domain. It is a record for intelligent tutoring system or all the online packages or online platforms. So that is another area you can attempt it. My PhD was into educational data mining. So intelligent tutoring system is the base of my PhD. So by that time I was into completely educational data mining only. Then even commercial data or these all recently only it started learning this commercial aspects. So what that educational, I lost my thought. Let it be. I will try. Whenever we try this rule-based mining, we need to start with this decision tree. Now let us move on to the, because that audio has come. No, I lost my thought. Let me check, is there any audio input? Yeah, nothing more. Yeah. Now, when it becomes a rule-based algorithm, the major point we need to consider is either Gini index or information gain, other word is entropy. So two methods we can consider. Every method will have the way of calculation, the probability calculation will vary. So this is what a decision tree algorithm should be. Issues loans. Salary is greater than, we will be having salary column. That column will have records. Those records need to be splitted into two branches. If it is multi-class label, then three branches. Three class, if we have every level, we need to go with three branches. Since it is binary class, it goes with the two branch. Yes or no? Yeah, I got back the thought. Yes or no is the binary class. Whereas grade, if at all you are trying to predict for your students, A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, something like that, let us imagine. So that kind of grading method, then it is known as multi-class labeling. So when it becomes real-time circumstances, we will be either working with the binary classification or multi-class classification. That is fine. So through this, we can clearly able to understand. Let us imagine our root node is salary. We may have age, we may have so many other marital status. We'll have our job, even whatever may be the salary. When the person is working in the IT industry, the salary means loan sanction will become much more better than other profession. So I recently, maybe 1 year ago, I came to know through one of the, when I was applying loan, that guy was telling, when it is teaching profession, it comes to almost to middle level category. If it is government profession, then they are giving more. They are setting this eligibility amount itself depending upon the profession, irrespective of the salary. Salary, the person 40,000, the IT guy is earning, the academician is earning 40,000, we will come bit lower than the IT guys. So that is a primary criterion for sanctioning the loan amount. Definitely, every one of us will get loan if we are honesty and we are what to say, maintaining that CIBIL score and all. There is no negative record mark, but the amount is a matter related to profession. That is how the banking industry works. By the time salary, let us imagine one of the column, then that based on salary, it will greater than 60, all the records will go to this branch. Less than 60 will go to this branch, that reject branch. Say that no, yes, you can easily imagine, visualize. We all know rule-based way of working. That's all. Next is work experience based on next attribute or work experience. Greater than 2, it comes. So see, look at this entire branch works positively. So yes, approve, approve, approve for our favorite. Reject, reject, reject for the bank favorism. So this is what the decision tree works. Nothing more we need to understand, no more intuitive thought. This intuition itself sufficient. Let us imagine there are 2 columns. In order to approve whether loan is approved or not, first approval itself we are discussing. So primarily we are trying to classify based on salary, then based on the years of experience. If we try to automate modeling, my software should recommend me, then it says approve the loan, then rest of the branches says reject the loan. That's all. This is how it works. Nothing more we need to learn about decision tree. We have couple of other algorithms. Why we need to learn? Mainly, this is a white box model. Already this I have mentioned. Because we can defend, we can argue, reliable. That is the reason white box model. Because all other models now, it will tell learning weight, coefficient. It will use formula. It will use a lot of other mechanism. Why the data set of 13,000 rows and 10 or 15 columns, how it is transformed to some coefficient value? It is a very tough manual calculation. You and me cannot sit and do that much tuning. You can't do. So this all together, we cannot do manually. We cannot understand how it is working also. It is a bit tough. But for hand simulation point of view, we will take 10 data and we will work on and we will try to understand, we will interpret. That is possible. But on the whole, how it is coming out with the weights, how it is coming out with the coefficients, you and me will be puzzled to understand the interpretation. So that is a first reason. See the logic for the data to interpret. So even if you have one data, if we get the tree, even when we build Python language, then it is possible to take that entire decision tree as an output. It can push that tree itself to the output. Then any record we have, we the human being, without even calculations or calculator or any software, we can look at the data and we ourselves can able to predict that is a beauty of decision tree. That is why it is called white box model. Now let us look at place the best attribute of the data set at the root. What is best attribute? 2 things are there, based on impurity, based on purity. So people are trying to work. I'll show the hands-on for both purity and impurity. How it first is beginner level notebook. For the basic understanding, I'll show a notebook. Then the same the data called cancer data I'll show. Then subsequently, with exploratory data analysis, the last week hackathon notebook, I'll be explaining lot of stuff in that notebook only available for the researchers. These all for beginning learning. So first we need to choose the best attribute among the given data set. May have 10 attribute, 25 attribute, 30 attribute. It doesn't matter. We need to choose the best attribute to keep it as a root. That is our primary duty. Then split the training set into subsets. Whatever the training set, subset. We have seen no in this tree. Look at if the salary is greater than this, all the records will go this side. Then salary is less than that, all other remaining records will go this side. Similarly, we are subsetting the rows. Then repeat step 1 to step 2 until we reach the leaf node. Then what is a leaf node? Number depth of the tree is called leaf node. Means through depth of the tree only we can decide the leaf node. So that depth of the tree is also one of the tuning parameter, hyper tuning parameter. The moment we step into every model, we should know what are all the parameters are possible for tuning the model. Number one is root selection is one of the tuning model. Whether we use Gini index or we use what else entropy, what method we are trying to use, that is one of the selection model. The other one is depth of the tree is another tuning parameter. Then other one is number of leaf nodes. These all. When it comes in depth of the tree and number of leaf nodes, if we fix lesser, then underfitting will happen. If we fix more, too much more, then overfitting may happen. So it should become optimum level of fixing the depth of the tree and number of leaves. So neither it should be too high nor it should be too low. It should be optimal. Again here, optimal selection is important. Optimal selection is applicable for only these two, not for root. Root we have only two concepts. Root selection is we can use either Gini index. In the last session I was walking through hand simulation for Gini index only. So again we will go back to ensembling technique today time permits in the afternoon session only. Gini index and entropy. These are all the concepts, or we need to remember what are the parameter we can tune further. So the tuning parameters are only three. Not only three, I am just giving you three. So you can walk through the Python decision tree decision tree classifier. That is the name of the function. So using that, we need to understand, learn the original manual, and we need to come out with all of the tuning parameters. So temporarily I'm telling without referring that function. In general, I'm telling this all. Now let us move on to the next topic. In decision tree reach for, okay, next 1 minute, I'll minimize everything. I'm feeling obstacle. What are all the assumptions? At the beginning, the whole training set is considered the root. If we have 10,000 records or 25,000 records, all the records are considered at a time in the root. Then based on that values, if it is categorical, it is easy. Preferred to be categorical when it becomes a decision tree. What is categorical? See this one. Commute more than 1 hour. Yes or no. This is categorical. Yes or no. Offer free coffee. Yes or no. These are all. Then again, salary at least 15,000. Based on the values which are all available in the attribute or parameter. So if it is categorical, it would become different. If it is continuous, discretized prior to building the model, discretization. So what is the value need to be considered into here? Continuous value to discretized value. If it is categorical, there is no other pre-processing is required. Then records are distributed recursively. It will be working in the manner called recursive principle. Then finally, place the attributes as a root on or internal node. These are all the way it works. Again, it is a little bit detailed version of this, nothing more. Now let us go to the, these are all the two what to say, criterions, available criterions for attribute selections, keeping it as a root, and what are all the intermediate nodes which should become the leaf node. For that purpose we are using this. Now let us move on to the information gain. Information gain is otherwise called entropy. It is working based on this formula: probability of x for one particular class. If we consider, then log of that probability, we will be using probability and multiplying, then we will be going for negation. This is the formula for information gain or entropy. If we know mathematics bit, then we can able to understand why we are using log, why we are multiplying, why we are using negation. So that core level, if we go and interpret, that would be much more better. Next, best attribute selection is called attribute selection measure. Every time we are working in the decision tree, best attribute selection only. ASM is our primary role. So how that ASM selection only, either Gini index or information gain. Now let us directly move on to, this is the holistic picture of decision tree. There is an original data or data set. We need to split it into training data and test data. Then the training data, it is going for select, 1 minute. It is going for best attribute using ASM, any one of the ASM technique, either information gain or gain ratio or Gini index. So this is the kind of ASM model is used. Then based on this ASM, after the attribute selection, breaks the data set into smaller subset. This process repeats recursively. Once the recursion or the decision tree is generated, test set is submitted to the model, then model evaluation, either cross validation or test submission. Yes, this is how it works. Finally, the matrices which we use are accuracy, precision, recall, F1. F1 score is especially important for the imbalanced data set. That I will touch shortly. Then AUC, ROC, AIC, DIC. These are all the performance valuation matrices popularly used. Let me touch upon what is imbalanced data set. Already in the previous session we have seen. For example, fail and pass is the class we need to predict based on students information. Students information could be their IQ level, their previous examination history, and the number of hours he or she invest for spending tutoring herself, and our study hours, simply we can say study hours. So some parameters we can consider. Based on that, finally we need to predict whether that candidate would be passing in the near future examination or failing. So these two classes, if we consider, fail normally would be lesser, no? In our class, imagine we have 100 students. So definitely 15 students only will fail. So rest of the 85 students definitely will pass. This should be the scenario. Otherwise, we will be fired in the institution. Whether we work for government or we work for private, we will be fired. This is the way the distribution should become. If this is the way, this is what I am telling, this is a response variable. Finally, we need to predict our students before even they write the exam. We are all doing every time before even our students are given the results. We know the standard of our students based on the internal performance, and we know the level of the question paper. Then we ourselves will conclude how many students will be passed in this examination, how many will fail. We can able to have some rough idea. Even we can yeah, definitely I will tell stacking technique. No worries, Rajkumar. So we will touch upon. So now, whenever we are working on into this data, it will become imbalanced. We ourselves doing this machine learning. Every human does this machine learning. Whenever you are going for stock market analysis, even if you want to invest, you will be forecasting. Really, our life is related with entire our life is related to machine learning. You will be predicting. See, match fixing also you do machine learning. So there are 4 girls will be proposing to you. or you will get a horoscope, whatever the method, you will come out with attributes of this girl and this girl, this girl, this girl. Then you will optimize, then you will select the best depending upon your character and your future. So you will be forecasting. If you want to purchase a house, you will be forecasting what is my future value, what are you, how you will take decision. You will have whether that area is suitable for your livelihood, and that resale value is how much. So much thing you will look at, and what is the quality of the house, what is the square feet of the house. So many things you will assess. So depending upon that only you will be taking decision. Similarly, in our teaching profession also, we will be predicting. We know about that student's behavior, how he or she behaves in the classroom ambience and in the examination. So we have come to know few parameters. Then we know our question paper. So we will mix these two parameters. Then we will be predicting whether roll number one will pass or not. Probability of passing or not, at least we can say. Then roll number two will pass or not. So that probability we all can be. We may not be able to predict precisely their mark, but we can predict pass or fail definitely. Every teacher that have capability. That is what here also I'm telling. When these two classes are more or less equal, 60-40%, 65 some 45%, that close combinations or distributions are there with respect to response variable, you no need to worry. You just go for accuracy, you just come out with that. So when the labels are 65, another scenario I'm telling, 45, 65, 70, 35, yeah, 35. The first scenario is called imbalanced data set. This 1585 proportion is called imbalance, the response variable. 65-35 is called balanced. When it is balanced, you and me no need to worry. Today afternoon, what is a notebook I am going to work through is highly imbalanced. That is where the real challenge will come. Balanced data set, nobody will have a lot of difficulties. Most of the hackathon will put, yeah, I will explain you precision and recall. Why we have to use, yeah, I will explain. So F1 we need to use when the response variable has imbalanced distribution. Pass fail is highly imbalanced. For real life profession, you are the best teacher. Don't worry that, don't confuse. Machine learning point of view, it is called imbalanced data set. Because one class is lesser percentage, other class is highest percentage. I'll tell you another example for imbalanced data set. Imbalanced data set. Because through this only we are going to understand precision recall also. This all we need to be clear when to use what matrices. Now I will ask you imbalanced data set. Give one small example, whatever comes in your thought. In our computer science perspective, not at real life. Computer science perspective, where the data will come out in the nature called imbalanced. Domain, at least say the domain, which domain it will come, or which application it will come, where it will come. The classical examples are available for the imbalanced data set. Security domain, very good. Security domain, what will happen is, everyday attack will not happen. That a hacker will not sit and attack your server every day. All of us, he'll be observing each and every point of your transaction or your activities, behavior, whatever, your trend, either from the real life to the data world, or data world to real life. There is one movie in Tamil, you watch it, Tegidi. That Tegidi data, that a movie, they will be using this kind of techniques only. So that they will be predicting who is having little bit related. I am not saying exactly for this. The scenario attack, security attack is one of the occurrence of pandemic. Yeah, occurrence of pandemic. Very good. So this is another COVID. So this one may happen, may not happen. So these are all those things. One more we can say fraudulent analysis, fraudulent card. So when we are going for fraudulent data transaction, I may steal your credit card, then I may go for transactions. So that event or in instances will happen rarely, 10% lesser than. Similarly, see, pass or fail, academic circumstances, highly imbalanced data set. If you are going for educational data mining based on several parameters, even if you want to develop intelligent tutoring system, it is required. EDA, that is EDM, educational data mining. EDM is the backbone of every intelligent tutoring system. Data only drives that software. So LMS is not at all intelligent. That analytics it does, but not intelligence. By the time imbalance would be more. None of the class will be having 50% worst students, intellectually not capable students, I mean to say. Then 50% intellectually capable. None of the class we have. Everywhere the distribution, it is normally distributed. If you look at the students category, the students attitude, it will be normally distributed. What is the meaning of normally distributed? Look at the scenario. In every class, number of students who perform extraordinarily well, they will perform extraordinarily 80 and above, people will be lesser. Similarly, look at this end, the students who get 20 and less than 5 here, 5 students may be available, or 10, whatever, little bit only it will change. Then this is where called confidence interval. Most of the people, average learners, will pull out here. So this is where they will be accumulated. So this is called normal distribution. It will follow normal distribution pattern. Most of our real life scenario will fall into normal distribution. Similarly, look at after becoming a corona patient. After corona is attacking the person, let us imagine. Then what will happen? The extremities, the probability of dying would become lesser only. It is not so danger. We will look at this, then media will be boosting. So maybe 10 people out of 100 people, 10 people, then other 10 people. Rest all the distribution called cure rate, days of cure. Among my colleagues, around 10, 12 members I heard corona affected. Then among that member, one lady faculty taken 1.5 months to recover. Another lady faculty have taken 20 days for recovery. Rest all 10 days they have recovered. They reported daily I'm meeting and working with them only. So this is the normal distribution. If you consider days of cure, it is extending, finally died. If we consider the race of recovery, within 3 days also people recovered. Within 1 day also, this normal distribution is positive. When it comes, see, normal distribution, don't think that always it will go to this is negative, this is positive. Depending upon the case. In this case, lesser days of cure is a positive. Within 1 day also people would have cured. Within 2 days also cured. Even I don't know, even I have corona or not. Non-symptomatic, asymptomatic corona is also available. So we don't know. So these are all those things normally distributed. Any example we take, 99% of the real-time application will follow the normal distribution. That is the reason among all the statistics, normal distribution is kept as a common principle. That's all. Now, yeah, some college is getting zero result. How to predict such ones? You can't do that and all. That and all extremities. That is where newspaper is tearing their name. Why you are going for machine learning? Unfit. Whether students are unfit or teachers are unfit, I don't know. But unfit, you can't do anything. Yeah, don't think so much sarcastically. For that and all, nobody will sit and predict. They will declare useless college, useless, hopeless teachers, hopeless students. That's all. Now let us come to this scenario. Response variable. Now, in this imbalanced set only, we would be requiring F1 score. F1 score is dependent upon recall, precision. This is the next point I'm coming in. Accuracy is based on principal diagonal. What is that principal diagonal? Correctly classified true, correctly classified false. Both are correctly need to be classified. So completely it is related to correctly. So that is where accuracy is not reliable. When it comes F1 score, it is a harmonic mean of recall and precision. harmonic mean of recall and precision is called F1 score. Whenever imbalanced, remember this thumb rule, we need to use F1 score. Then come to what is recall and precision. Precision is almost related to one particular class. What is that? Positive class. Positive class. Recall is related to negative class. So what is all about this? There are two classes we have in our scenario. Among both of the class, sorry, what happened? Among both of the class, share something. Yeah, I was trying to minimize. Yeah. Both of the class, positive and negative. So how correctly it is predicting this class alone, negative class alone? How correctly it is predicting positive class alone? That is called precision and recall. So that we are relying on F1 score rather than accuracy. Accuracy is to, or it is required or to be followed for only balanced class. The proportion should become more or less similar. See this 10%, if I use, this is further worsen imbalanced. Then 1% 95, now 99%, 5% 95%. These are all highly imbalanced. Within the imbalance itself, we can use the word adjective highly imbalanced. So here 65-35. This is the foundation we must know, nothing more. Whenever you are working on the data, you are what to say, if you are a banker, imagine always you will be doing research on defaulters, the customer who are not paying. That information only you will keep understanding, learning. That will help you how to tackle the defaulter, when to freeze their assets. A lot of things need to be taken care. Then that through their defaulters, learning will happen. That kind of pattern anywhere repeats with the future customers, they will strongly take decision, no more loan for them. So that they will, their interest is only for defaulter. They don't sit and appreciate, they don't send you price and all. CIBIL score I'm having highest till now, never I became defaulter in paying my EMIs. So do they greet me with the freedom and all? Not at all. They don't give me any appreciation letter also. So their interest is only to work on defaulter, please remember. That is the reason, again we are going for recall and precision. Which category we are interested for, that accuracy we want, that records alone need to be pulled out, that upon that only we need to work. So that is where the precision and recall comes into the picture. Hope so you will be understanding the formula already in the last class I displayed. Now also I will be displaying that model validation matrices time I will be displaying. So if you are particular about one category among all the category, you can have all the category. Through machine learning, it should able to predict something, or exploratory data analysis itself sufficient for taking prediction most of the scenarios. I'll show how that EDA will help. Hands-on EDA I'll be bringing today. That day only theory. Let us move fast from the theory point of view so that we can spend more time with the hands-on. Already 45 minutes over. So look at, this is the data. Last time also I have taken, now also the same. Information gain. Let us assume there are 4 attributes are independent variable A, B, C, D. This is what response variable we need to predict. So every column we need to find out the probability. If it is discrete, means continuous value, we need to go for discretization or finding out the median value. Then based on the medium, we need to group them into 2 different categories. If it is again numerical, we need to find out the median value. We need to group them into 2 different categories. Similarly, this, that's all 4. Here we will be counting positive class and negative class. Then the probability between here 2 class, here 2 class, here 2, here 2 you will get. Finally 2 plus 2, again 4 probability, because here response is positive and negative. So 4 Here 2 you will have, here 2, 4 probability, here 2, here 2, here 2, here 2, here 2, here 2. So after calculating this only, we need to go for building the decision tree. This is the way it works. This is a holistic picture. Let us go for. So look at, for the A attribute, it is fixed the median value or the threshold value to classify it into, to categorize it into two different groups, that is 5. So greater than 5, I'm treating it as one class, less than 5, another class. Similarly, B, greater than or equal to 3, less than 3. If it is salary, we need to find out the median value, then above that median group of category belongs to one salary group, another, similarly the same. Age also. C, that's all. D, this one step, I'm done. Now, what is the next step? Similarly, we need to calculate the last step, positive and negative. 8, 8. Equally balanced. See, perfectly balanced class. This is all, this also 8, this also 8. So this is perfectly balanced class. So let us go for. So what I need to do? See, look at this formula is entirely different. Last class which I have shown is Gini index. Now I am showing information gain. What is information gain? Already I said minus summation of P of X into log P of X. So this is what I said already. This is what the formula I have shown beginning itself. Now let us go for calculation. Just substitute, nothing more your value. See, P of positive, because there are two class, no? Here positive class, negative class. Or you can highlight less than 5, greater than 5, whatever the way you want. You can calculate. 8, 8, both are 8, 8 only. Entropy, minus 1 into positive into log this plus P of negative into log P of negative. Since it is both positive class, negative class, 8, 8, you need to give this value. Suppose the records are 8 and 6. Here let us hope for 6. Here this negative class, let us keep it as 6. Then what would happen is the question. So when it becomes 6, then you need to put here positive class 8 divided by 6, not 8. Then this 2 will go here, then it will become 10. You need to use the formula 10 divided by 16. Then log of 10 divided by 16. Here positive class, negative class. This is negative class. Here you need to put 6 divided by 16. Here also 10. Then you need to put log of binary log of 6 divided by 16. That's all. No more work. No need to worry of this one. If you know to calculate, enough. Because we need to teach this also to students, so we should understand how it works. Similarly, this is for general response variable probability or information gain. See, it will become always 1 because we are considering all the records, no? It should become finally 1 because 8 and 8. Earlier, 10 and 6, that if you calculate also, it will become 1. Now, based on this 5, variable A greater than 5 category. Then how many are there? Look at this table. Greater than 5, less than 5, you need to count. 1, 2, 3, like that, you need to sit and count. Out of 16 records, you need to count how many are there greater than 5, how many are there less than 5. If you know that calculation, then see, they have put here 5 and 7. So 5 and 7 with respect to, here they are considering greater than 5, but there are two responses, positive and negative. So that they are calculating this way. Next, less than 5 category. Then here positive and negative, they are substituting. That's all. The information gain is this. Let us see. Now finally we need to go for information gain calculation. One more formula, E of target minus E of target comma EA. 2 we have calculated, no? E of target became 1. Always please remember target variable, it should become 1 only. 1 minus this. So finally very lesser value it comes. Let us see for B. B is 0.7 higher value. When it comes information gain, gain means what? You will always gain from this workshop. The word gain, when you will use high, then here this is what high value, this becomes root. Let us see again. See, one step is you are step by step, if you know to calculate, rest all same. I don't want to spend more time here. Now D, calculation is ready. See, this is the consolidation table. Information gain for A is poor. Look at here, poor. Information gain for B is high. Then information gain for C. Now you can look at all the four, it has been displayed, 1, 2, 3, 4. The word gain, remember in your mind, gain means what? High. Then which one will become root among 4 attribute? Definitely the B. Next level root will become, intermediate node will become C. Next is D. Next leaf node only will become A. This is the intuitive thought you should have to proceed before even going to tree building. So this thought intuition has come. Let us see the tree. See, look at B, C, D. This is how it works. B becomes a high because it is information gain, whereas Gini index lesser. Last class I said lesser value became the root, I said. This is the new concept, that's why I'm spending more time. That Gini index I will go faster, that's all. Just I will walk through, not even going faster. See, this is a formula, 1 minus this pj of square. Last class we have seen. Same method we need to do. Here also same method. Now we need to do that. Here the calculation also goes the same procedure, but the formula wherein which we use will become absolutely different. Then Gini calculation, we need to use this formula, that this category for how many available, this prediction how many available, Gini value, then summation, because every attribute fall into two different categories. So the two weight we are calculating, weight of both category. Finally, we are getting this result. The same will be repeated for every other attribute. Look at here. We are coming here with the Gini index value. Let us see. Let us have intuitive thought before building the tree. 1 minute. Yeah. Every value is projected here. All the values are projected. 0.273, 0.2, 0.4, 0.3. This is working in the opposite direction, opposite principle. Imagine here, this is going to become root. I said there in the information gain, highest value. Here I am flipping the entire thought process itself. That is a beauty we need to understand, nothing more. See, look at C only the top node, root node. But this is the poorest value, because this is working on impurity, that is working on purity. So that philosophy further, for initial level, this much understanding sufficient. Every week you need to refine. There is no ending for machine learning, because every month people are coming out with different research strategies. This is a basic intuition you should know. Information gain, what is a formula, and this Gini index, what is the formula, and which one is choosing the highest value, which one is choosing the lowest value. Now you will agree that both of the tree building method, although it is decision tree, the tree working mechanism itself changes. One is working on highest value, another one is working on the least to high, that is working on high to low. So that the way of splitting the record, the way of building the tree will differ. That we all of us agree based on our intuitive thought itself. So that's all. This is the basic foundation. Overfitting, underfitting will happen, so that pre-pruning, that all the parameter settings should become careful, or else we need to go for optimization technique, that tuning technique. Grid search CV, random search CV we can use if we are not able to fix appropriate value for the hyperparameters. Those also I'll be explaining in the notebook. Now pre-pruning, post-pruning, these are all the variants. Already I touched upon this also. Repetition only. ID3, C45, CART, chi-square, Mars. This is a base model for all the ensemble technique. Across the globe, I watched around 8 to 10 videos to confirm whether to boldly declare in this workshop or not. Ensemble techniques are only working better for most of the data set most of the time. I cannot say 100%. It is not, none of us have the rights to declare towards one algorithm. So most, so that this is one of the important. Please invest quite amount of time in the decision tree, random forest, then this. Then one small advice or suggestion I can say. What is a suggestion or advice is, the moment you want to become data scientist or data enthusiast, whatever, if you learn now, and understand some extent or full extent whatever your capability of assimilation power, then if you keep quiet for 1 month, everything will be vanished. It will be disappear. Caution I'm giving. So either for free of cost you need to teach. I used to choose at least 5 students for the NPTEL mentoring. NPTEL mentor certificate I'm having 2. I'll be keep on coaching to students. They will have very minimal syllabus only. Fine. So I'll be keep on coaching to the students. And after lockdown only, I am coming out. Before I don't come out for outsiders for the data science. My expertise of domain is art of teaching, art of ICT tools and software. I know 80 open source tools and softwares that used to be the trainer for every time, inside also, outside also. I'm full-time trainer. My domain itself, educational research officer. So my expertise is grooming teachers how to become the best teacher. That is what my core purpose. Advisor role for NBA, NAC. These are all those stuff I used to do. Data science never I do for outside. But for my remembrance capability, understanding capability, I used to take NPTEL mentoring. Then I used to participate in all the hackathon. I won. Never it is possible for me because I'm flipping into several spheres. My research is different. This is different. My patent is different. So I need to work in 10 different subjects in every day. Then administrative work only most of the time. So that is not feasible for me. But I will be participating in most of the hackathons periodically because to brush up my skills, to remember, at least I should not be the topper, I should not be the best person, I should not be the worst. So that is so you need to also go ahead. Otherwise, it will disappear in 10 days. By the moment we recap, the models and the technology will go here. Then we cannot go and catch up. So this is the only one small suggestion or I can give. Now let us move on to the notebook. Today we are going to look at the notebook from the Google Colaboratory because I wanted to give you the practice on Google Colaboratory as well. Because when it comes deep learning, you never ever try attempting doing with your machine. Hardware circuit failure definitely would happen. Not may happen, definitely would happen. So that always recommended to use deep learning perspective, this only. See how to go for co-laboratory. I don't know. Please text me. Anybody knows that a foundation is given in this workshop or not? Workshop only I'm asking. Whether you know or not, I don't want. Workshop is it given? How to work with a co-laboratory? Otherwise, from the foundation, I need to explain for 1 minute, 2 minutes. Please text me quickly. Chat window workshop. Will they explain to you this? Yes, it is given. Yeah, fine, fine. Yeah. So that I have reached here directly. Oh my God, I need to look at whether that notebook is available or not. Word cloud. Yesterday I was working. It had gone to different drive. 1 minute. I'll pick that. That is where we need to start our. So many mail IDs. That is where confusion for me. I worked and finally what happened? I can't work right now. Copy of Atal word cloud only available. Decision tree I have kept. That is what I thought of doing first. Because first session, no, always it will be trouble for me. Word cloud. I did an entire notebook yesterday night by 11 only I did. Because the decision tree notification has come by 9 o'clock for me to handle the morning session due to some other setbacks of that resource person. Actually, this first one, I am not resource person. Then I am given to do where I stored, how it went wrong, I don't know. 2 drive I was using. Decision tree. Atal, yeah. Oh my God, it is there in front of me. Atal decision tree, because this is a Jupyter notebook. I have uploaded to Google Colaboratory. That is a reason confused. I was looking for Google Colaboratory notebook. Yeah, succeeded. No worries. Let us move for very beginner level people understanding. So first we are doing we need to bring sklearn import tree clf equal to tree dot decision tree classifier. That's all. So there are different way available. I'll tell one by one all the way of doing decision tree. Search by name itself I will forget. I have 100 plus notebooks. So let us see. Height, hair length, voice pitch. So based on that, we need to look at this is a predict response variable. We need to predict 0 or 1, male or female. That is a final category. Voice pitch, how it would become. Normally for male it will become high pitch, female it will become low pitch. That is how the society says. I don't know. Look at the hair height. 180 means who they are. Definitely height of the length of the hair is female. Then 167, 136, 174, 171. Height, sorry, this is height of the person, hair length. 15, 42, 35, that 28. Whichever high no hair length, those members are definitely female. So it is clearly telling female. It is kind of educating the budding machine learners. It is not a high level data. Very simple. Look at the data itself, only 5 point. That 5 point, we are just trying to give some interpretation. Randomly you can choose. If we give interpretation, people will understand better. So we need to classify all the 0 belongs to male category, all the 1 belongs to female category. So height of the person, hair length. Normally height would be more for male. That is a global observation. Rarely it will go zigzag. That is different scenario. That is what exception case we used to say. So that height, look at height will be domineering feature for the male, and hair length will be the domineering feature for the female. So the data itself very clever. With the low data we can get a high result. That is the reason we have got this. This is x variable. These are all x variable. X variables are 3, y variables are this. That's all. Now what we are doing, we need to execute this cell. The same is repeated, it's not required. Let me execute once again. Height, hair length, voice pitch. These 3 parameters we are taking. It should predict it as men or women. That's all. So the training is ready. So these are all the lines are meant for training. Then why we are fitting. So up to this it is training. Then we are giving the prediction one data 33, 37, 1. It is predicting it as women. Perfect prediction. So that's all. This is how decision tree works. Now let us go for one by one. We are going for online data from UCA machine learning repository, NumPy, Pandas, very basic workbook. Don't worry this familiarity to the decision tree we are bringing. NumPy for numerical operation, Panda, then confusion method. These all I said during the random forest itself. Now, actually topic should be first decision tree, then random forest. Organizers only gave that, so accordingly only I'm going. So if you look at this, what will happen here? That is advantage because we are working in online. No, online manual itself it will come. Jupyter notebook it won't come. So we need to refer with a Google search engine, then we need to come back. That's all. So now let us bring all the necessary packages. This for training splitting. This is a decision tree classifier. I'm not using tree. See there the way it is using is different. We have brought tree, but here we have brought decision tree itself. sklearn.tree decision tree classifier. So whichever method you want you can use. Now we are going for the data set which we are getting is this from the UCA machine learning repository balance scale. If you want to read the description, you go on the URL is given here. I'll send you the notebook. So now itself I can send that share link I can give you, no worries. So this notebook, this data set you can go and read it, because a lot of coding stuff I want to give. A logistic regression decision tree. Next, my actual session was by 11:30. That topic is on logistic regression. So combining together at the last week hackathon imbalance data set, 3 concepts you will learn. Not only 3, lot of intricacies I'll be bringing in it. One is imbalance data set. One is stacking, boosting, bagging techniques. And another one you will know how to work on imbalance data set with different ways of tuning and all the ensembling techniques, logistic regression, decision tree. These are all available in it. Maybe 7, 8 new takeaways everyone will take it from that notebook. So the data set size is 625, 5 columns. So next we are looking at the head. Head means to look at the first 5. This is how the data set looks. 0, 1, 1, 1, all are almost categorical type. This one is, see, categorical itself 2 types. Ordinal data is also categorical. String data is also categorical. For example, shoe size or dress size, medium, extra large, XL. If we are keeping like that, no, that all categorical only. Instead of double XL, I'm changing the codes 1, 2, 3 in the data set itself. That is also ordinal. Footwear size 6-inch, 5-inch, 7-inch, 2-inch, 3. That is also ordinal. If the people are representing footwear size in that, then we should treat it as ordinal. Never it is numerical. That will mislead all our prediction. So be careful. That is the reason we are telling. Only concentrate on accuracy, but based on good accuracy, how to you build user application model, please clarify. Yeah, accuracy, if it is balanced data, they will be deploying that model. Then machine learning deployment model will come. Then any data newly comes, then they will be working on it. When we talk about machine learning, we are only concentrating on accuracy, but based on good accuracy, how to build your model. I'm not able to understand that getting good accuracy is for balanced data set. F1 score improving is for imbalanced data set. Accuracy, we should not talk for imbalanced data set at all. You can refer, but that is not the final judgment. Balanced data set only accuracy. All the feature engineering, feature selection, dimensionality reduction, all the ensembling technique we are using for improving the accuracy only. When the accuracy is too high, 95 and above, 98 and above, only then you can deploy that model so that it will predict all your feature endeavors. That is the answer, nothing more. Maybe I am not clear with interpreting your question. You may put it in paraphrasing if you are not convinced. So now we are segregating. See, look at this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is index. That is not our data. So that is internal index. The first column itself response variable. Rest all independent variable. So we are putting this is slicing operator. Please be careful. Slicing operator. Every one of us should know very well. Invest. I give just a few tips. What are all the things we need to invest? No, lock and iLock and slicing operator. What is slicing operator is this also, this also. Sand Foundry is one of the website. You can refer that. You can take a test by yourself. It will have answer and a little bit of explanation as well. Analytics Vidya also has a lot. Or else take a notebook and work with the different trials. So now what is this colon comma is include all the rows. When it comes data frame, slice operator is different. When it becomes list, slice operator is different. Please understand. The context of slicing operator will become different. Don't go with the same notion. So here, colon comma. This colon comma indicates bring all the records. Then what is a column is start from 0, 1 first column, end by 4th column. This 5th will not be considered. -1. See, look at first column. 1 column means BR is 0th column with respect to original data. So I want X variable from the 1th column to 4th column. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how slicing operator will work. The next is Y variable. Bring all the records related to 0th column. 0th column is this. That's all. This is what we should understand, nothing more. I'm segregating the original data into X variable, Y variable, because Y is dependent, X is independent. So we need to first do that step. Then we are going for splitting. This already I said several times. X train, Y train, X test, Y test you need to do. You need to pass that X and Y variable. Test split. 30, 70, 70 training, 30 testing. If you wish 25, 75, 80, 20. These are all the 3 popular. If you ask in few workshop, no people asked 86, 24, will it permit? It will permit. You give it is a automatic package only, no, it will permit, but people will use like this. Then if you tell I used 8624, if you go for interview, they will question, why did you use 8420, 8624? Is there any specific reason behind it like that? Then you should be in the justifiable position. That's all. So question thought may be in any direction, but working should become all along with the pop society. Now we are going for Gini index. This is one of the hyperparameter tuning. I am telling to the model, you use Gini index. I don't want entropy. Here I am telling. Then random state equal to 100, max depth equal to 3, minimum samples leaf equal to 5. These are all the points we are setting. If you don't set, simply give open bracket. It will work for open bracket. Very well it will work. Don't worry. But what will happen is, by default, Python have set, if the user not ready to specify anything, if it looks at the data, depending upon the data set, automatically it will come out with the hyperparameters. That is the beauty. I'll show, we will play with that also. Let us see. Then fitting X train, Y train. Then after that, we are trying to predict. So the prediction is RL. If you look at here, BR predicted values are RL. After that, confusion matrix, the same method. Now the accuracy, let us look at 73. Why this accuracy we are calculating, not F1 score, if the data is balanced data set? We didn't look at that also, balanced data set, whether it is balanced or not. We need to look at that. 1 minute. Code. What is the data frame name used here? Balanced data. The header name is B. Balance data of B dot value underscore counts. Counts or count, let us see count, let me put, error comes counts. Because all the time copy paste habituation, B error Y, this is the header name, data set, id 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me give one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 header data set. Okay, somewhere got stuck up. So we need to use this command. We can come to know whether this is balanced data set or not. Yeah, let me check. Is there any command by hyperparameter tuning? iloc. Yeah, iloc is for integer location. Hyperparameter tuning will improve the accuracy, definitely. Now let us move on to the next method of doing. This method is entropy technique. Nothing else has been changed. Only the criterion entropy is changed. Now let us see the accuracy in this model. iloc is for locating function, locating the data. Loc and iloc both for locating the data. iloc is meant for integer value location and loc is meant for categorical value location. That is the input. So look at accuracy is reduced 70.74. Not reduced. This model gives accuracy 70.74, whereas this model will give the accuracy 73.7. So that is why I'm telling this is one of the major hyperparameter tuning. What is entropy and this Gini index. Depending upon the data distribution, it will work. iloc and loc is meant for pointing out or localizing, finding the location of the data. For example, in my data, name of the faculty are available. Gopi Krishnan, which row, which record number the person is available, I want to know. Then I need to use a log function, understanding the row number of Gopi Krishnan. That is what lock. iLock is meant for integer finding integer. For example, your age is available. I want to find that age. So that iLock is useful. Lock and iLock. With that note, let us move on to the data called that cancer data I used to do now, because the data set already given to you. It is for comparative study. We want to understand. I'll pick up that notebook. Give me a minute, because all the notebook I supposed to open before the session, but morning I couldn't do this. So when random forest was used, we were getting almost 94, 90 plus accuracy, 94, 95, 96. These are all those things we got. Today, let us see how it is going to become. What is this? File permit downloads. Yeah, got it. The same data. Now we are working with what to say, Jupyter Notebook. Normal way of importing all the packages. It will take few minutes since it is first time we are doing. Yeah, Rajkumar, several time I shown you na F1 function. There is a function to calculate. I will show you how to predict total F1. Total F1, no total F1. F1 only F1. That is why that in the report no F1 is given. F1 cannot be predicted for total. Only one F1. I'll show you, Rajkumar. You will get more clarity. Wait a minute. Let it execute. In this notebook, see F1 I'm calculating accuracy, precision, report now. Precision, recall, accuracy will be exclusive for the cases. This is harmonic mean. Only one F1 score. That's all. No particular F1 score is involved with both precision value, recall value. Understand that the input to the